Hi everyone, welcome to the little discussion of the making of our...
Romeo and Juliet monologue.
Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot for watching once again. It was our monologue with a twist. Obviously, it's one of the most famous monologues of Romeo's, Act 2, Scene 2, which is the balcony scene. And one of the biggest challenges for me was when Andy, Jason, and I said, we have to do our audition pieces, our Shakespearean audition pieces. This was, I think, my one and only piece that I used that actually got me the part of Romeo, but that was 15 years ago. And so I just didn't know how to shoot Romeo playing it as a middle-aged man, so we did this twist.
So Christian came up with this idea of talking to his baby.
Yeah, my baby daughter Lauren. In this case, she played Juliet, which was really difficult to get the shots of a sleeping baby without her waking up. Yeah. Actually, we'll go through it and we'll watch and we'll talk about what we did in some of the challenges and how we executed. But one of the things that was the biggest drawback probably for this is that we shot it and at the end we looked at it and we basically, I think, Andy and Jason watch it and says, you know what, we have to reshoot the whole thing. If it's an exercise in learning and how to do this right, let's just reshoot it. But there was a lot of things that we shot that we wanted to retain and hold on to. It's just one of the problems was the audio.
Well, you know, Shakespeare is all about the language, and we just found on the first shoot, because Christian was asked to really speak with a very low voice or low volume. He was whispering a lot, and we found that...
Going in between whispering and full voice.
Yeah, and we found that once we took out a little bit of the room tone, we were actually taking out a lot of the voice, and we couldn't really hear the words well enough. And really, with Shakespeare, you want to hear the words. The other challenge, of course, as we said with the last piece, was how do we make this visual and not just about one person, you know, staring up at a balcony and talking. And in this case, at least we had a bit of a story and, you know, a little bit of a twist to it, but we also had the baby and the baby's crib and everything. So we tried to make it a little bit visual without taking away from the monologue, which hopefully worked.
Yeah. We actually shot all my scenes without the baby. Lucky enough, we got my in-laws to take care of the baby.
Yeah.
And actually my wife was very cooperative, but she said, look guys, you got one chance to do this, and I don't want to disrupt the baby, which I don't either, sleep pattern. So we had one chance to do it, and then when we just came up with the audio challenge, we said, let's ADR the whole thing. And it was probably our first time ADRing a full monologue. Anyhow, let's go through it, Jason, just sort of talk about the more positive aspects in terms of what we executed. This was actually shot on the GH2 hack, which was the driftwood hack. Now actually we're huge advocates of not using the hack and challenging ourselves to light properly and to not fall back on like shooting with a really, really high ISO.
Yeah. So, I mean, the hack is fantastic, really, if you want to blow up the images to a huge extent. But really, for our purposes, where we're delivering for YouTube or online content, I mean, it's really difficult to see the difference between the hack and the unhacked camera. So when we went back to the unhacked camera, we found that, well, first of all, there was the benefit of just having a lot more card space. But we really didn't see a lot of difference between the two images, unless you're really pixel peeping. And then for high ISOs in color, you really don't want to go there on the GH2 anyway. It's not great for low light. But you know, when you're filming low light, we found that, you know, most of the time you really want to get the hints of light and really good darkness. So you want blacks and then bits of light that come through, and those bits of light, if they come through and they're well exposed, it actually looks great because you've got a lot of nice contrast. Having said that, we did have some, you know, real challenges trying to create the night scene, but as we'll see
Yeah, let's
this video.
get this.
Yeah, let's get it rolling. So this first scene we lit through the window and through the shades, the what do you call that? The curtains.
The curtains. We actually blasted an LED.
Yeah.
At full strength to just. We realized that in our learning process that the more shadows you have for nighttime, that's what real nighttime looks like.
Yeah, you think that nighttime is about, getting very little light and no shadows and all that, but actually you need a lot of light, and the key to lighting for nighttime is to blast a lot of light and then shut down your aperture so that it looks dark, and you can color balance to blue, or you can just leave it so that any incandescent lights there look really yellow, which is quite a nice effect. But shadows make it look more like night, so don't get rid of your shadows, create more shadows. In fact, we had some challenges creating shadows in this room because the LED lights that we have, they are very diffuse, which is great for video lighting, but it means that it's really difficult to make hard shadows. And
we had no practicals, and it would have been nice to just have more sharp-edged shadows. Really quickly, just that staircase scene that you saw, it was color corrected. As a matter of fact, that's the only thing that was color corrected with a filter other than just like three-way color corrector and FCP. And
well, this scene here is obviously a amalgamation of two different days of shooting. One was just Christian doing everything over the cot, and of course the second shot was just a shot of baby sleeping.
It looks nighttime, but there's a lot. I mean, at the time I was shooting, there was a lot of light, and I just had to be really careful not to wake her up.
Yeah. So it doesn't, to be honest, one thing that we regretted was that the footage doesn't match very well, because we had very little light on Christian, and it was something that we quite kind of liked. But going back, if we would have reshoot that, I think we'd put a lot more light to match the shots. It's something. It's a choice. It's a lot of people will probably say this is really badly lit, but nighttime's nighttime, and there should be hardly any light coming in, or rather, it's almost coming to morning, which is the sort of light that we wanted. But anyway, it was a trial at lighting for night, and.
And just something in terms of the acting part, it was really hard. I mean, well, obviously I haven't done this speech really in like 15 years. But also, it's, for purists out there, it completely goes against what like Shakespeare really wrote the speech to be about. But I felt, we just wanted to see if we could execute the idea. And I think just getting that true love of a father's love for his daughter, I mean, for those of you who have kids, you just can't get enough of just watching them and looking at them sleep peacefully. And we all thought this would just be great to just have this father say the speech to his daughter. But boy, when trying to, with the audio levels and just trying to do the scene to a stuffed animal, because obviously Lauren wasn't there, it just, and plus, that's why I gave up acting, actually. Anyhow, the ADR, let's talk about the ADR, because we just actually did that yesterday.
Yeah, and so we wanted to just get the audio very, very clean and clear, and the problem with trying to whisper, especially in a performance in a room with room tone, obviously, is that you can't really get a nice hot signal, which is what you wanted to do. So when we came to ADR, actually, I told Christian that actually we need to do it all on voice. And then what Christian did afterwards was basically take out a lot of the bass in the edit, so that it sounds almost like a whisper, and that it's slightly off voice, so that he doesn't want to wake up.
Actually, Jason was really good to run. We had two choices. We were going to either do the ADR through Soundtrack Pro or FCP, and we just decided to do FCP. Jason was really good about sliding it and slotting it to see if we actually matched the sync or not. But what I did was, a few times I actually did the lip sync when I was watching the monitor, and a couple times I just listened to my delivery and then I just repeated that, but just was a lot clearer. but I actually did keep it down. I didn't go full voice all the time, but I think what helps is just being consistent. If you go one way and the actual take is to not wake up the baby, but to just relish and talk to your young one without waking them, that, as long as it's consistent, worked. But obviously a really great mic, clean audio. I mean, we sort of set up, we never knew we'd use it for ADR, but we have a nice kind of setup for recording just audio, and that really paid dividends. Just after piping in the room tone, actually, that was a big challenge. We naughty us, but we forgot to do room tone in that room.
Always get room tone.
But because we did another scene called Meet the Actor, I took nice long room tone, and it was nice and clean, and I just patched that in, and that saved it. And I used a few of the creaks and the footsteps from the actual audio that we got on the day of shooting, put those in to hopefully and hopefully you think, wow, okay, that doesn't look like ADR, but knock on wood. But that's what we did to achieve that effect.
Yeah, and I think it was important just to get the clarity through. Otherwise, really, what was it about? You know, now that you can actually hear the words, you can feel the beauty of Shakespeare come across. And meanwhile, you know, see a few images that we've cut in at the same time that hopefully try to kind of embellish on that a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing, is that the words
language
had to come through.
What did we shoot on? We shot on a 50mm Nikon lens and a 25mm Pentax C-mount lens, which we absolutely love.
Yeah,
it's
a nice little
go-to lens.
CCTV lens, but it's one of our most favorite lenses, actually.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for watching. Actually, stay tuned for Jason's Shakespeare monologue, Hamlet, which we're 1/8 we've shot. We have a lot more to shoot.
Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think below, and do watch the video and comment on it. Let us know what you want to see more of.
And subscribe for more skits and short films coming up.